Coach Jose Riveiro and winning coach. Coach, if you can please just take us through the match today, the brief summary.
Yes, good evening. I think it was a proper derby. I think the previous ones, at least in the league, were much more. I don't want to say that boring, but I think today we have the opportunity to see much more football, much more different momentums in the games for both teams. So I'm sure that the people who left the stadium, it's really hoping to come back and see one more time in the future. We're not going to play anymore this season, but it's one of those games that I think it helps to keep our fans behind us. Today we are the winning team. I think we were also the better team on the field, even though we didn't start. We started a little bit shy and we conceded an easy goal early. But I think after the goal, Orlando Pirates managed to play. I think considering the venue, considering the game that we consider that we are in a derby, I think we played really well. I didn't felt any or many problems to solve, unless obviously the presence of Ashley in the transitions. But overall, I think that we were better than Chiefs in the central lanes. We managed to find a lot of freedom with Tito, with even with Mabasa in intermediate positions, and the contribution of Rele, it was excellent. Also, Salem, they gave us what the game needs when you play Chiefs. These Chiefs. Second goal. Again, one situation that we should have played the duel much better. Then we have the opportunity to foul the Chiefs player during the running, and we don't. And it seems to be like too easy, the two goals that we concede, I think. But in the second half, we didn't lose the composure. We knew that we're gonna have our options, yes or yes. And I'm so happy with the character that the team showed today after a disappointed result. But at the same time, it's something, or it's probably the thing that we need to correct. We need to find a way to make sure that. I think that today was one of our best performances so far, but there's too much difference with our performance the last Wednesday, and that's what cannot happen. Our performance must be closer to. I think it's something like more close to each other, more similar to each other. Huh?
Consistent.
Yeah, and that's the plan for the future. That's where we have to put the emphasis, because again today I think that the guys showed that on the day they are capable to face every possible challenge. And now the key is to do it week in, week out.
Garabo, Lorenz noted.
Good evening, Coach Garabo.
Good evening.
Congratulations on the victory, actually a double over Chiefs this season. You've been part of the derby for the last couple of maybe seasons now. You are quite spot on in saying that previously it was a bit cagey. What made this one different? Open, a lot of good football. Pirates dominated as well most parts of the game. What made this one such exciting for supporters to watch? I think it was worth the sold-out affair today.
In our side, I would like to think and say as a coach that it's part of the evolution of the team to get used to play these type of games together. I say it before the match that we already play a decent amount of derbies together. I mean, not in the history. I mean, this group with this technical staff, we play a decent amount of finals already together as well, because these games are different. That's why I'm happy. We were not unbelievable on the ball, but in this type of games, get the control that we got in the first half, especially the way that we manage the spaces in the first half, is not easy in this scenario. But also from the opponent, I mean, today they had the opportunity to play, for example, Martin, Tetua, and Castillo, and they didn't. They came with a proper number 10, so they also came to try to play more football, to try to dominate us in some moments of the match, and that's why I think we had the opportunity to see a game that it was, in my opinion, more entertained than probably the previous derbies. I remember the last derby we played, I think we played good 20-25 minutes in the first half, but we didn't manage to be consistent during the 90 like we were today, in my opinion.
Coach, Lorenzo Prometheus, Times. Just how important was Lipitso's goal at that stage of the game? Obviously, he had a okay first half, but I mean that can galvanize the fans, the players. Like we also how he acted from a stunning goal.
Absolutely. I think he struggled a little bit in the first 10-15 minutes, but it's normal. This scenario is not easy for the boys, and it's his first appearance in the start 11, and the coach is putting him in a derby, you know. So, but we trust him 100%. We knew that his contribution. Obviously, we didn't know about the goal, even though we know that he has the capacity to shoot the way he did it, because he can do it. It's not by chance. But we were looking for something different in the right side today with Monapule and with him. Even something different in the left with the role that we gave to Dion during the game. And I think it works quite well due to them. They were really, really disciplined. And in the case of Tabiso, like you said, I think little by little he was coming into the game. He's a player that today it looks that he got his confidence in the duels, in the individual duels, in the 50-50. He was really, really playing with a lot of determination. And I think the boy, little by little, he got the confidence to feel that he's finally part of this and finally part of a derby. And well, he made some history today with that goal.
Amen.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Would you say that there's certain players that are designed for big games, a bit more than others? For example, Saleh hasn't been playing as much, but then you kind of spring a surprise by starting him, and he delivers as he has in the past in these big games. Would you say that there's certain players that you count on in bigger games?
In our team or in football?
No,
in our team? Probably, yeah. There's, like I said, they are all good players, but in a day like today, you have to go there and ask for the ball, you know. That's for me what it makes the difference between players for big games or not. In the big games, I'm not saying that it's our case or we have any case like that, but there's players that they don't want to see the ball, you know. The defender is moving to the right and they are moving to the right as well. They don't. And the players that you mentioned and other players today, I think we all know which players today they had a good day. Lucky for us, we have players that wants to be on the ball. That they usually, most of them, they live on the ball. Rile, Tito, those are players that if they are not permanently in contact with the ball, they will drop 20 meters to just have a touch. You know, they will never hide themselves. They always want to have the responsibility. And in games like today, you need that type of players. That's why we managed to play, like I said, good football in many different moments of the 90 minutes.
Next three questions, Lula, Lizzie, and Double.
Coach, Coach News in Africa, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Would you say the victory is sweeter when you score 3 goals against a team that has been very stingy giving away goals. I think had 6 clean sheets in the last 7, and you're able to score those 3 against them. And also on the case of Lebitso, when he doesn't start in a good rhythm, do you then worry as a coach that your selection gamble, if I may put it like that, might not work out? And it might be a case where you have to hook a player off in a huge derby at half-time to try and plug that hole.
Now, obviously, my role is to make decisions, and usually when we get the good result, it seems that all the decisions were good, and it's not the total truth. No, I mean, when we know our players, not exactly what's going to happen, but you even know that it can be an scenario that if the first 2 actions are not going well, maybe, we have some cases in the last season also, I'm not going to say. But it's also important what the senior players are doing inside. When you have the Tapelo and Olisa and Miguel, Majaula around, that they are football smart also to understand when one of the young players or one of the new players is not having a good time on the field, to be all the time behind them and giving good instructions, good feedback, and making sure that we don't leave anybody behind, And the first question, the goals. I like football because of the goals. I think we are all coming and going to the stadiums to celebrate goals, to see goals, that's football. So obviously, like I said before, I think this derby was much better because the previous ones, we showed last season 2 goals, and both of them very particular ones. Unfortunately for us, this season 1 goal in the previous derby, and today I think these different alternatives in both sides, we coming from behind, it was much more emotional, obviously.
Coach, this season on the right-hand side of defence, you've made what, maybe I can use the term, some interesting choices. Some of them affected by injury, obviously, Makaringe, for example. But is it a problem position for you, the right-hand side of defence? Because no one would have really expected you to choose Lebitso for a derby. Is it a problem position for you?
No, not a problem, but for many reasons, it's true that it's been a headache for us. Even the last season, if you remember, we played Paseka Mako as a right fullback almost the second half of the season, complete. So it's forcing us always to look for positions. We were very unfortunate with Bandile and with Tabiso in that position. It was really, really few times last season that they both were fit at the same time. It's one of the positions that we used to use one of the subs also for many, many reasons. So not problematic, but it's true that we are permanently, unfortunately, looking for different solutions. And when Lebitso came to the squad, was also preventing that situation. And we knew that Tabiso can help us in that role. He can do it. It's not that he played there 100 games in PSL, but we know that he has the capacity to do it, especially depending on the game, the way that we build up our fullbacks. At least one of them is not really a fullback, so he can cope very well in that role. And I think the club did a fantastic job with that recruitment, because it's adding more competition and one player that I'm sure that is going to grow quite a lot with us.
Coach, how do you sort of bottle and keep this energy and this determination that the team showed in this game, and twice coming back and almost answering every question that the Chiefs had, when you can play like you did against Spurs in some moments and then be able to rise like you did and ensure that this is something that this is the face of Pirates that you see more consistently than what you saw against Spurs?
I would like to have the answer for that question, to be honest, because, like I said before, this is the version of Pirates that we all would like to see in each and every game as much time as possible. Understanding that we are not perfect, but like I said in the first question, we need to try to make sure that our best version is close to our worst version. That's the excellence in whatever you do, and football is not an exception. So I would really like to know the exact answer for that, but we need to keep analyzing. I think it's going to be important for us to capitalize this victory in terms of understand the team that we want to be, not only celebrate the 3 points, celebrate the derby. I think there's much more things that we can take from this game that can be good for the team in the future. And that's part of our job as a technical staff to convince our players to enjoy on the field the way they did it today. It doesn't matter who is in front.
We'll take the final 3 questions. What was the question here first? Let's get, is it?
Coach, congratulations on the result. Jose Riveiro.
Thanks.
Coach, on Thursday you did say going into this game, one of the things that you guys wanted to do is to get that CAF Champions League spot. You've had a taste of Champions League football. How important is it for the club to get back, to play continental football, and what do you think that would do for the club?
Now, obviously, it's a competition where the club can only get more prestige. It's a competition that it gives us the opportunity to test ourselves with clubs from other countries, with other different type of footballs, to accumulate experiences as a group that will only help us to be the team that we want to be in the future. So even though, again, still a long way to go there, and there's some other teams who are fighting for the same objective than us, and it's going to be tough. We cannot think that it's going to be an easy road till we get that objective. And but it goes without saying, like I said the last season, it doesn't mean that if we are not there, or if one season every 10 we are not there, is a failure. But a club like Pirates should be fighting at least to be in a Champions League spot each and every season. Fighting with the respect for the other clubs, because, like I said, there's other clubs that are doing a good job, and they also have the right to dream about to be in there.
Coach, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Surely for the first time in many occasions that a match at FNB felt like a home game to Orlando Pirates.
Right.
Looking at the fans, the dominance on the stands, what would you like to say in appreciation to the fans, looking at how they embraced being here?
You're totally right. I think the atmosphere today from the warm-up was something else. It's the energy in this stadium. I can tell you that it is special. It's very special, and they make it possible today. I think the last derby was the opposite. There was a majority of Chiefs fans. Today, I think that the Pirates fans dominate the stands as well, and it's probably one of the reasons why we performed the way we did it. Because today there was not, we didn't feel that, how can I say, when the things are not going the way we want. I think they were all the time supporting and cheering and not putting so much stress in the boys. So they did a fantastic job to help us to come back 2 times. And it could be nice to have this atmosphere in each and every game. I'm sure that if we manage to fulfill Orlando, I'm not asking them. I'm not the one who sit down here and ask for support, But that kind of atmosphere when you play home, it makes the things very difficult for the opponent. It's obvious. And it makes the things, when they are behind us, really, really easy for us to run an extra mile, So, yeah, today, like I said before the match, it's important that they can play the game with us, that we can play together, and today they did it.
That's good.
Coach, Maskepa Power FM. I want to ask about Mark Kaula and the role that you had for him today, especially playing with the team, because it looked like it allowed Maswanganye and really enough room and space to move without worrying too much about the defense. what is it that you look from him when you bring him, especially playing with the team? And then also, when I count, you've lost about 12 points, I think, from a winning position, and that happens late on in games. Is it a case of just losing steam, losing focus in the matches, and also maybe just towards the last stretch of the season? How do you intend on fixing that? Because it happened today where you could, from those kind of situations, still get a victory.
I think about the points that we lost in the last stages of the game was never for the same reason. It's easy to say, no, we were not focused, and no. Super Sport, we got the lead early in the game, but then the game becomes much more physical, and we didn't cope with that proposal of the opponent, and they managed to change the result. Stellenbosch, I think the game was over after 70 minutes, and what they try in the end, it works very well when the introduction of Van Wyk and De Jong, and we didn't react on time to stop that chaos. We didn't help so much. And the last time with Cape Town Spurs, I think we didn't really play to win the match. I have to be critic in that game. I think the second half we were just speculating with the result, and we paid the bill in the end for doing that. We should have finished the game much early, because I think we start very well and we dominate the game the way we wanted in the beginning. So it's never the same reason. I could tell you, no, it's lack of concentration in the last minutes. There's much more reasons that we need to work on it as a team. And the first question, sorry? Makaula's role. Well, I'm not going to explain who is Makaula in this league. You all know the player very well. He's a player that gives you different presence on the field, in the center of the park. He's a generous player. I think Miguel and Mahaul are players that the last thing that they think on the games is about themselves. They are thinking about everything around, and the last thing that they think is about themselves. I don't know if I express myself. So that gives you the opportunity, for example, to play with Joto and with Levitso as a wings, to have players like Rile, like Maswangani, Chejo, because, you know, I don't want to say more protected. I will say what I tried to say in the beginning of the answer, that there's more attention behind them, so you can survive. Let's put it in this way. There's two players, like I said, that are thinking about much more details that are not related with themselves. And in that sense, I think Mahaula is doing a fantastic job. Same way than Miguel. Mbata is also contributing, and still we have Baloni, we have Philip, we have Monare pushing to come back, and the competition in the middle for us is very tough, and yeah, all of them, I have to say that they doing so well, so everyone is ready to play there.
We'll take the final round of questions. Please, let's cap it at one question per person. Start with Mr. Gary noted, you're noted, and Mr. Please will close it off for us.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Can you just maybe fill us in a little bit on the decision to start, or maybe let me put it this way, what tipped the scales for Saleng to start? Because over the last while, there's been some sort of the forgotten man, the Pirates comes through in the big stakes, and it proves to be the match winner.
No, Saleng did he didn't have the best first half of the season for multiple reasons, again, that we cannot discuss in this space. In the AFCON break, I think he did a very good job during the second pre-season that we have. In the training matches, he came in to play Sundowns in Pretoria. Not a bad job. And then we couldn't have continued with him for something simple like a flu that separate him from from the 20 when we traveled to Polokwane, if I'm not wrong. I'm confused now. Polokwane. And then we used the game against Crystal Lake to see other options, other players. And Wednesday could have been an option from the bench because he was ready to play. And in the end, I decided to do something different and keep Salem ready to play this game all the way he did it. So he's not a forgotten player, that's for sure. You show him today. He needs our support as well, our help to be again the Salem that everybody have the opportunity to see the last season, and right now he's doing the right steps.
Coach, I'm Khalil Mukhale from FNB. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Coach, you just came back from a long break of AFCON, and on Monday when I asked you about the performance, you said you're getting into, increasing the performance, reaching up to how you finished up last year. But now you're playing again next week, and then it's the FIFA break.
It's a break.
Would you say that this FIFA break is coming at a time where it's very tricky, where you want to build on to the results that you got today?
So, no, sorry. What's the question?
I'm saying, would you say that the FIFA break that is upon us now comes at a time whereby you still want to, continue with the rhythm, leading on from the performance that you see today?
You know the answer. It's not in my control. So we don't choose when there's a FIFA break. I think it's the last one this season, if I'm not wrong, and. It's always positives and negatives when we stop. There's gonna be time. Right now we are in 12 days in a row, not stopping, training and playing without a single day off. Tomorrow we have to train again. Then the boys will get 1 day. We're going all the way this week to perform well in the cup, and then we will use the time as usually to get a rest and to work on the things that we feel that can give us an advantage for the rest of the season, and with more calm and without the stress of the competition. So nowadays these type of breaks and competitions in the middle of the season, and that it becomes regular, like I said many times, it's not going to change, it's just going to get worse. So we shouldn't waste time complaining about the schedules anymore. Football is what it is, and it's us, the ones who needs to adapt ourselves. Like I said also in some other occasions, planning is part of the key in the teams when we want to succeed, and we need to do a good job in that sense as well, that we use that time properly for the team.
A question, please.
Yo.
Okay, final question.
Last question, sir. Is it sweeter to win the derby than the cup final? Got to taste nicer than
I don't know.
in extra time, surely.
In my first derby from the same corner, I think you told me, congratulations, you are the first Spanish coach to lose one game in the FNB.
But I was wrong. I was wrong because Spain lost here to Gordon Ingerson. I forgot about that.
Really?
So I withdraw that comment. It was funny though.
I think both are important. I don't like to. I mean, one title is one title. Obviously, it's there in our cabinet. It's part of the history of the club. But I think the derbies as well are part of the history of the club, and for our fans are much more than just one game. If you ask me as a professional coach, in my CV, there's the trophies. Probably I cannot put in my CV that I won the derby 2 times or 3 or 4. You understand? But we sitting here right now is also a Buccaneer, and I'm so proud of what the guys did today in a Soweto derby, and it's also going to be part of the history. So both things are very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Wait for the last
Right.